Welcome to Marine Tech Talk, a podcast about how Teledyne Marine's innovative technologies are enabling scientific discoveries and commercial tasks in the world's oceans and waterways. In this episode of Marine Tech Talk, we chat with John Taylor and Ahmed Ragab from SITECH Gulf, along with Emad Javaid from Teledyne Marine. Teledyne Marine and SITECH Gulf have partnered to create a one-stop shop for their clients. Hear how the first authorized service center in the Middle East and Africa regions will benefit clients working on some of the largest marine projects in the world.
Now, here is the host of Marine Tech Talk, Rhonda Moniz.
And welcome today to this episode of Teledyne's Marine Tech Talk. I'm pretty excited because I'm talking to John, Ahmed, and Emad, all from SITECH and Teledyne, and I'm going to get to that in a second, but I just wanted to welcome them to Marine Tech Talk. Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to the Teledyne podcast. I'm really psyched to have you guys to chat with today.
Thank you.
So I thought it would be easy if we just started out. John and Ahmed, you're both from SITECH. If you could just tell us what you do at SITECH and kind of introduce yourself to our audience, and then we can have a brief chat with Emad, then we can get into the meat of things.
Yeah, sure. My name is John Taylor. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of SITECH Gulf. We are part of Mohammed Abdulrahman Al Bahar, which is the local Caterpillar dealer, and we are based in Dubai but handle the Middle East and North Africa region.
Great. And Ahmed?
So my name is Ahmed Ragab. I'm SITECH Gulf Deputy Chief Operation Officer. I do come from a diversified offshore portfolio, mainly a mix of marine and oil and gas. I used to be part of the CAT Marine side within Al Bahar Group, being the key account manager for marine and oil and gas fleet customers. And I'm also the Six Sigma Black Belt champion for UAE. I used to develop the business into the marine, oil and gas within Al Bahar team, and then I was transferred to the SITECH to do the same, mainly developing the business and expanding it into the marine sector.
Excellent. And Emad, you're from Teledyne.
Yes, correct, Rhonda. Hi. So my name is Emad Javaid. I'm the Senior Director for Teledyne Marine, looking after the Middle East and North Africa region. I've been in the Middle East for about 17 years, going on 18 years right now. Started out as a field guy many years ago, primarily working in the oil and gas sector, and then made my move into sales with different vendors over the years. And now I look after Teledyne Marine, the business unit for Middle East and North Africa, of course, working with SITECH Gulf. Great.
Thanks, Emad. All right, so the first question, of course, that I have, and what comes to mind is, John, you've now formed a partnership at SITECH with Teledyne Marine, and it's funny because you don't usually think of marine applications in that part of the world, in the Middle East. So how does that work, and why partner with Teledyne Marine?
Right. Really, there's a lot more than just sand in the Middle East. I mean, everybody gets the pictures of the desert when they start talking about the Middle East and camels. But
Right.
really, the GCC and North Africa have some of the largest marine projects in the world. Probably most famous was the Dubai Palm. I mean, a huge marine development project that's two palms and a world islands off the coast of Dubai. But really, even though these were built 20 years ago, we continue with some of the largest marine projects in the world, from the Suez Canal development, from the Red Sea development, and NEOM, which are very exciting projects in Saudi Arabia. And of course, now with the gas prices and oil prices going to these levels, there's a renewed interest in offshore oil and gas as well. Now, of course, Teledyne is one of the leading marine technology providers in the world. And it made perfect sense to partner up with them as we reached out and expanded our marine market.
Makes sense, especially given that Teledyne Marine is, as they say, everywhere you look.
Exactly.
You're also the first distributor to represent Teledyne Marine's, their full line of marine products. What was the thought process behind that? How is that playing out?
Well, a few years ago, we saw an opportunity in the marine segment. We were doing some marine work based on the Trimble products that they had available, but it was very limiting. And then Teledyne and Trimble started to cooperate more and developed a software called TMC, which is based on PDS software from Teledyne. This expanded us quite a bit into the marine segment, and we really started to push for a one-stop shop for our customers, someplace that they could go to not only for land technology, but marine technology. As we were developing this network, and Ahmed was pushing a lot for these types of products for us and doing a lot of the groundwork. But we were approached by Ted Gurman from Teledyne, and we started discussing our approach to the market, and really it closely matched between the two of us. And of course, the rest is history.
And Ahmed, could you talk a little bit about that yourself?
Basically, our vision was to integrate our capability within the region into the marine and expand. And when I joined, Mr. John assigned me to ensure that we can get all the resources and we get the necessary suppliers, the necessary equipment. We have the portfolio, and we were basically shopping around from here and there. We attended events. I had to go to Oceanology, and I had to attend some of the ad hoc exhibitions, trying to find the right partners to be able to have a one-stop shop. It wasn't easy, but we were doing a milestone in the marine in 2017, and in 2000 by the end of 2017, I think this is where the first TMC came on board. By then we were already far enough into the marine. When we started with the Teledyne thing, we started to basically drop all the different suppliers and different partners that we had, and we had now a one single partner where we are more convenient, and we are one-stop shop basically with enough support to pick it up and be the leader into the marine in the region.
Wow. So Emad, what did that mean on the Teledyne side of things?
So basically, historically speaking, Teledyne Marine has enjoyed a lot of success with their reputation in the market, but there was always a gap between customers and their knowledge of our extensive portfolio, right? We had customers who were only specifically buying from a specific vertical, so to speak, for years on end. It's because obviously they either weren't aware that we had other products to offer, or they just basically had nobody go to them, talk to them basically about this. So this is where SITECH Gulf sort of, fitted a big piece of the puzzle, really, with their extensive resources, both locally and in the region. We started consolidating all the business units under their salespeople, going to the market, talking to the customers. So what has this basically led to is that we've not only consolidated our existing customer base, strengthened them, but we've also found out new projects, new customers that really realize that, as John and Ahmed said, that, for lack of a better word, a one-stop shop is much better to go to than going to, 15 or 10 different vendors and, trying to get products from them.
Wow. Yeah, that's far more convenient for the client for sure.
I do agree with Ahmed. It was a lot easier for us to seamlessly integrate with Teledyne because we did already a lot of groundworks before having the Teledyne approaching us. It really did help a lot. We had the market, we know the people, and we just needed the right partner, and that's why we peaked from the first year.
Wow. So John, I have a question for you. SITECH Gulf was formed in 2012. It was part of the Al-Bahar Group. Now, I know the main focus is to support your customers and to implement and assist them in construction technology in the Middle East. And now you specifically bring a surveyor background into the mix yourself. Could you talk a little bit about SITECH Gulf and your background and how that fits in?
Yeah, sure. Just an interesting fact before I talk about myself is that Al-Bahar actually means the sea. And this is in Arabic, obviously. So it seems to be we're getting back to our roots for the company. Now, I do have a surveyor background. I've been in the Middle East since 1984, working in oil exploration. Before that, I was construction surveying. But I do have also a background in offshore navigation. In fact, I was one of the first pilots for Trimble's offshore navigation survey software that we use for a project with Halliburton in the Red Sea. So again, we do have I did have a lot of experience in the marine segment before we started working full on. Now, my deputy COO, he spent 7 years working with offshore companies for propulsion and power systems with Al Bahar. And of course, we have several team members with many years of marine experience. We continue to build that team. So we're no strangers to the marine market. The bottom line, of course, is that we're taking our customer service that we are known for with our land customers, and applying that same level of customer service to our marine customers as well.
Wow, this is so much going on. It's amazing. And it is true. Teledyne really is everywhere you look. So this is a question kind of want to put out to all of you, and maybe John, you can start out with this. So I understand you've expanded your reach in the region and you work with other local distributors. Could you talk a little bit more about those relationships and how that benefits your local clientele or customers?
Sure, of course. Again, we were formed in 2012, and we hit the ground running even in 2012. And our reputation for providing the technology grew in the region. So what happened is we started to have another Caterpillar dealers in North Africa and the Middle East reach out to us because they didn't have SITECH, and they wanted our assistance in actually implementing technology for their customers as well. So that started a very good relationships with the region's SITECH. And then, of course, the cooperation started to grow and after each successful project, and really continues today with that group. Then when we reached an agreement with Teledyne, the last thing we wanted to do was to have a reduction in market share. We didn't want to disrupt the market. So we immediately reached out to any Teledyne dealers and customers that were existing in the area and we wanted to talk to them about the benefits of this new arrangement with Teledyne and SITECH Gulf. So we were able to explain that, hey, we're going to have for the first time in history an actual stock in the Middle East of this equipment. This, of course, will mean faster deliveries and more business for them because they don't have to wait for these products to be delivered, and it can immediately go out into the field, which helps. Then we also talked a little bit about our plans for the service center, which was a talking point amongst the customers in the region, the long lead times of sending anything out of Europe. So we were able to talk to them about future plans and assist them in that area as well.
Wow. Ahmed, do you want to expand on that?
I think we have a different strategy from all the competition, and because of the background of where we're coming from and the way that we look at the business. To be honest, Mr. John has a very broad vision, and it's a very long-term type of vision. So it made it a lot easier for me to just play the right role and use all the resources that we have being part of Al Bahar. It was a lot easier for me to access all the network basically, and we just capitalize on that network. We have the largest network, I think, globally, and wherever you go, you will have a cat dealer or a cat distributor or a cat entity, and basically Al Bahar name is very trusted and very known, very well known, that everybody will be just it's very credible. So they will work with you and they will cooperate. They really facilitate lots of the business for us, and of course it's a win-win at the end of the day. They get part of the business, we secure the business, and we move on. And on the competition side, we made sure that we have a strategy that we don't lose the business, we don't disrupt the business. So we had to work with the competition. I'll tell you that we managed to convince some of the competition to sell Teledyne over their own authorized dealership or agency from wherever they are getting from.
Wow, that's persuasive.
Yes.
That's when you know you have a good product, right? When they're willing to sell that over their own. That's pretty cool.
It was critical. think about it. If these guys can also really make it a lot more difficult to us, converting a Teledyne customer or a Teledyne inquiry to their own product, and they try to compete head to head, and just it become a price war and nobody wins.
Right.
And just working with them and trying to make them feel it's safe, or not to cross you, or not to go over you. It did work. It did really work. And I believe the biggest strength that we brought into this deal is turning or converting land and nearshore customers into marine. That was a new piece of the business that never been existed, and that's far away from any cooperation with competition or CAT network. That was a pure organic business.
That's great. So I understand that you guys have this new, really amazing support center. Could you talk about what that entails? Give us some information about it, like where is it located, what kind of support you guys are providing, things like that. I know it's supposedly really fully stocked, and it's 24/7 operations. But could you tell us some more information about it?
Yeah, sure, sir. Our service center has been established in our Dubai office for over 5 years, and we've been a tier 3 Trimble service center for about that for longer, actually. With this, we needed an expansion of this service center into the marine products. Although we're servicing a lot of marine products, we didn't have the floor space. So this year we are expanding our facilities, basically doubling our floor space in our Dubai office in order to have just a pure marine service center and support center. So we're very excited about that. It'll be the first Teledyne service center in the Middle East and the Africa region. And this has enormous benefit to our customers. Shortened lead times, less shipping costs to Europe for this. And this is really consistently one of the biggest complaints from the marine customers in the region, was the long lead times on getting anything repaired. So this will be a huge competitive advantage for us there. So anyway, it's currently being expanded to our existing facilities, and people have been hired, and we're nearly ready to roll out the new complete service center.
That's amazing. Emad, from the Teledyne side of things, this is going to be a big deal too. I mean, how is this going to, could you talk about how this will assist local customers in the area? And could you talk a little bit more about what kind of support is provided?
Yeah, this is extremely important because I remember when I was in the process of joining Teledyne Marine about 2 years ago, this is one of the things I basically brought up during the process, is that it's extremely important to have a working local regional service center. Our customers basically expect the best out of us. Obviously, we have a great product, we have great partners, but if our after-sales support is weak and poor, if it's not delivered on time, if it's taking forever in actually getting things turned around, then that really harms the reputation. And basically anybody that's worked for Teledyne understands what reputation means for us. It is integral to our ethos and basically our business. So going forward, as John mentioned, as Ahmed mentioned, we're extremely excited in actually having this new service center. And again, keep in mind that this is not only going to service the UAE, it's going to service the entire GCC, it's going to service the entire North Africa market. So whereas previously things were going out to a different time zone, as I like to say, now it's actually going to stay regionally, locally. We're going to be able to turn this around quickly and in time to save customers basically from their downtime. Because keep in mind, everything in marine in terms of downtime is a lot more amplified when compared to the land side of things, right? Because stuff has to go offshore, vessels are expensive, boats are expensive. So anything which we can do to minimize downtimes for customers is really an added win for everybody, honestly.
Yeah, and I know from being on both sides of that, because I've been in the industry for 25 plus years, and I know what it's like to be out there in the field on a vessel with a piece of equipment and it breaks down, and you're absolutely right. It is far more expensive, and every minute that's ticking away is costing the project money. And that is huge to have support. And that's one of the things that's always, because I've also been on the sales side of things and the marketing side of things. And, and that's a huge thing because, when you're, if you don't have support, you can have the best product in the world, but it's electronics and salt water when it's the end of the day. And when it breaks down, if you don't have support, that can be one of the most frustrating things. So I've always been, support to me is it's a big deal. So that's really amazing that you guys have that and you're doing all of that, being able to provide that level of support to your clients is just, that's priceless as far as I'm concerned.
I think the expectations are too high for when you are a premium service provider or a premium solution provider, whether it's Al Bahr name or Teledyne name or SITECH name. It's just the customers expect premium support, 24/7 support, and it's just high expectations, and you need to adapt and be able to provide that.
Right. You've got to be able to stand behind your product. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Yep. Reputation, that's what it's about.
Thanks for listening to the Marine Tech Talk podcast.
Join us next time as we continue our conversation with John Taylor and Ahmed Ragab from SITECH Gulf, along with Emad Javaid from Teledyne Marine, as we chat about the new partnership between SITECH and Teledyne Marine in the Middle East. For more information on SITECH, visit their website at www.sitechgulf.com.
If you have any questions or comments about this episode, you can email marinetechtalk@teledyne.com. If you like this podcast, please be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcast or wherever you are listening to the show. That way, you will never miss an episode. Thank you for listening, and we will see you again next time.